ACC schools.
Welcome in the latest episode of that SEC podcast. I'm your host, Michael Bratton. I go by SEC Mike on them Twitters, and everybody's favorite cousin is here. Cousin Shade, how's it going, brother?
Hey, buddy, what's going on?
Hey, buddy, going a little early today because the playoff projection or the rankings, what have you, are about to come out, Shane.
Yes.
And shout out Benjamin, he's in here. And shout out Vol Randy 80. Randy, welcome to the family. But we're going early, Shay, because here in about 12 minutes, they're going to release the college football playoff rankings. And I want to, again, we did it last weekend, last Friday. You know, who do you need to root for based on the model that the committee, all this is nonsense. That's what people need to know. It's just a computer formula.
Yes.
And I'm going to prove it to you. All right?
Yeah. So
we're going to get to there in just a second. I'm going to reveal the rankings before they reveal the rankings.
Oh.
So I just want everybody to know that Dave Bartu, Adam McClintock, they know what the hell they're talking about. So before we get to that, real quick, Shane, as always, got to let the fine folks know, all the cousins out there, we're brought to you by MyBookie, the online sportsbook. Head on over to mybookie.ag. That's the website. Just type that in, Shane, mybookie.ag. And it's completely free until, well, it's completely free. But if you want to put in an initial deposit, put in that promo code that SEC, THAT SEC, they will double your initial deposit today. Minimum $50, maximum $1,000. So you can have 100 for 50 or 2,000 for 1,000. And Shane, you cannot get a lock. I cannot get a lock. Steven cannot get a lock. They could triple fade us over at MyBookie. They're gonna be swimming in it. You know what?
Mike, I'll tell you what, if they've been paying attention at all, they probably are, Mike. We probably got the richest fans out there in the world, the most generous fans out there in the world, because we are making the money as we're slowly losing it over here, Mike. I can't get a lock to save my life, and you're right. Even last week, I got it, quote unquote, right, but every damn one of you knew what I was doing, and you probably faded that one. So good to you. But yes, we're here to make you some money. Double it. You can't beat that bet, Mike.
Okay, so we're 10 minutes away from these TV shows.
Yes.
I'm just gonna do it, Shane. I'm just gonna reveal it here.
Okay, let's do it.
Maybe not. I uploaded it, but where are you?
Wrong revealing photo coming.
Oh, buddy. The suspense is killing me here. Trying to upload this damn thing. Okay, are you ready? Are you officially ready? This is what the polls, and if it's not exact, it'll be, one or two teams off what this says right here, Shane. So we got again, not a ton of change this week. Oregon number 1, Ohio State number 2, Texas number 3, Penn State 4, Indiana 5, Notre Dame 6, Miami 7, Alabama 8, Ole Miss 9, Georgia 10, Tennessee 11, BYU 12, SMU 13, Boise State 14, and A&M 15. This is exactly what these damn rankings are about to look like. Shane, what's your thoughts on this list?
Well, that's a lot to take in right there, Mike. I'm going through it. It's good to see Tennessee in the top 12. I see Texas A&M barely hanging on down there. Are you surprised Texas is so high? Because one thing I'm hearing is Texas is too damn high right now.
Ooh, well, again, this is what they look like. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what is the biggest thing that you think, looking at this list, that has changed since
this is the only thing they're going off of right here, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So people need to know. And if you're just listening back, strength of schedule, and it's not, please, for the love of God, stop sharing me the ESPN FPI. That's nonsense. They don't look at it. So that's not your strength of schedule. Quality win. What's that mean? A win over a team with a winning record. Top 25 win. What's that mean, Shane? I mean, that's obvious, right? But it means top 25 today. I don't care what Michigan was ranked when you beat them 2 months ago. That matters not. It's what they're ranked today, game control. It's basically, how in control of a game you are, how bad are you beating someone, you're whooping their ass. And then a bad loss is a loss to Vanderbilt. Everybody says, Alabama's got bad loss, Vanderbilt. That is not a bad loss. A bad loss is a loss to a team with a losing record. So again, here's your top 15. I do not have 16 through 25, unfortunately, before you ask. But all they're looking at here, so you're asking me about Texas, right?
Yes.
So they look at obviously the win-loss is the most important. 9-1. Strength of schedule for Texas is 60. They have 2 quality wins. They have no top 25 wins, but their game control is, I'm counting it here, live television here. It's like 6 in the country.
Right.
So that's how Texas gets to number 3.
Yes. Okay. I see it, man. Shit, Mike. I mean, it's hard to argue with this because we do have several SEC teams in here, but again, I see a Texas and a Texas A&M that got to play each other. You know, I see. Other than that, I think we're pretty good on Alabama, Ole Miss, Georgia, Tennessee.
Right, but we can sit here, Shane. We've been doing this all season. I guess we're just going to keep doing it.
Yeah,
and you ain't alone.
What if it?
But we're just looking at we got Alabama up right now.
Yeah.
Huge favorites at Oklahoma. Huge favorites against Auburn. Win-win, right?
Right.
That's what I thought about Vanderbilt. That's what I thought about Tennessee. I mean, I get it. Those are more competitive teams.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I mean, we have been what if in this entire damn season. What if, Shane? And I'm not saying it's going to happen. We'll get to the predictions later. But these Ole Miss fans are on cloud 9.
Yeah.
They may lose in the swamp. And all of a sudden, they don't have to worry about this, right? You're sitting here politicking like you're running for office. Tennessee may lose to Vanderbilt, and it's all you're wasting breath. You know what I mean? Like on and on and on. All these things can happen. I think it'll clear itself out. I hope it does because I don't want to see a 10-2 left out of a team that deserves it. You know what?
But what if, Mike? What if? You know what I say? What if Ole Miss wins out, Alabama wins out, Texas A&M? Let's say Texas A&M wins out. They beat Texas there. You know what I'm saying? All those teams, the SEC teams that are sitting in there right now, David Bartu's, they can all move up, and Texas may still be able to hang on even if they drop one to. Hell, by the time this game's playing, they may be at 12, Texas A&M, if they win out. And I know ifs and buts, candies and nuts, we'd all have a wonderful Christmas, but there is a scenario. Is there any teams that are not on this list right now, Mike, that you think has a fighting shot? Because I keep hearing, I get tagged to South Carolina. Is there any other teams out there that have an opportunity to get to these playoffs that are not listed here right now?
I think that's the only one, Shane. South Carolina. We'll see where they're ranked. It's paramount that they move up because they were 21. Some teams lost ahead of them. They obviously won maybe the damn game of the year in the SEC. So, they were 21. Where will they be ranked? I do not know, but I'm hoping it's 16. If it's 16, if it's 17, I think we got us a fighting shot.
Yeah.
If we're 20 still, no shot. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I got it.
And they need real chaos to get up there.
Oh man, Indiana. So Indiana, Ohio State play this week, right? So we got it's going to be a little chaos ahead of us. So right. I think I was talking to somebody about this today, and I was like, if Ohio State loses, they're going to drop like 2 spots. If Indiana loses, they're out of the top 25.
Hell, they might move them up, Shane.
Yeah, that's right. That's a tough schedule. So,
yeah. Indiana's got the worst damn schedule in the country. 118th is their strength of schedule. So, you know who's got the best strength though?
Who's that?
Cousin JR. Come on, Cousin JR. He just gifted another membership this time to Elk Chit. Elk
cool.
Chit. What a name. Yeah. What a name. I hope that's not a bad word there.
Elk Chit.
Yeah. Elk Chit. Welcome to the family. He's probably already regretting it, but you're here. You're among us now, Elk. I appreciate you. But Elk Chick says, dude, JR, you badass. Thanks, cuz. So that's what it's going to be, Shane. And again, I hope for Alex Wood's sake, who just became a member. I hope South Carolina gets up there. Alex Wood, welcome to
the family.
But again, we got to get him up there. You know what?
I love it. I love the chaos, and I hope. I mean, I hope this list is 100% correct because I've already implanted it in my mind. But there's a part of me, brother, that says, well,
Yeah.
something may happen here in a minute when they start revealing these things.
Yes. Where we at? We're about 3 minutes out, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, a Medela commercial. Hello.
Okay, I got it too. Okay, we're on the same page. This is the way Shane and I do business here.
Yeah, watching TV. We watch TV while we do the show all the time. We're so addicted to this thing,
But hey, shout out Alex Wood. He just gave us $5. New cousin, OG listener, as Joey Freshwater Jr. Big fan of you guys. Go Cox! South Carolina is winning out, no doubt.
Come on.
Let's throw up their schedule, of course. They got Wolford. We'll talk about that in a minute. We got some red hot comments from Shane Beamer. I love when these coaches give us hot comments, Shane.
Me too.
But yeah, they're going to kill Wolford, and then at Clemson, of course, is the big one, big rivalry. But they're a joke. We got whooped Dabo's ass. And again, if you end the year, Shane, with 6 straight victories, particularly if 5 of the 6 are dominant wins, including 3 on the road,
right?
How in the hell can you keep? I don't know. I mean, I'm not liking their chances. I'm just being 100% honest.
Yeah.
But if it were up to me, I'm putting South Carolina in because nobody wants to play this damn team because they know they're going to get their ass whooped.
Mike, I'm telling you, brother. I mean, we've been talking about this defense all season long and how great they are. But here, the last half of the season, we've been talking about how great Sellers is, how great this offensive line is, how great these receivers are. I mean, just the balance that they now have on this entire football team. They are top to bottom one of the. I don't want to play them. Nobody wants to play them. I'm, as a Tennessee fan, I am so grateful that South Carolina is not on their schedule this year or next year. You know what I'm saying?
How about this one from Jim Mack? Love the show. What will it take to get Arkansas in? Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy.
I hate to say it. Hey, what did you think? Real quick, they came out with the schedule release for next week, Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah. And, I got that fired up. You want me to throw it up?
Yeah, let's talk about that for a second while we wait here, because I feel like they fumbled this thing, Mike. I feel like this is almost a travesty. I just
right, and if you're just listening, here it is. You probably know by now, but so rivalry weekend here. We're going to have 2 games on Friday: Mississippi State at Ole Miss and Georgia Tech at Georgia. And Shane, you brought this up as a perfect time. They're literally about to unveil this bracket here, but and then Saturday, Tennessee Vanderbilt noon, South Carolina Clemson noon, Louisville Kentucky noon, Auburn at Alabama 3:30, Arkansas Missouri 3:30. And then 3 games at night: Oklahoma at LSU, Florida State, and Texas A&M are your night games.
Yes, and I'm just upset, Mike, because there's an opportunity. It's not like this schedule just snuck up on them.
Right?
They've had this thing planned for a while. Let me know if they start. They're starting to do the reveal show. So if you're listening,
right.
like, wait, why? There's a squirrel out the window, Mike, but. I just feel like I've gotten so used to watching the Egg Bowl on Thanksgiving that I'm going to miss it, man. There was nothing better for me. I mean, this is my favorite week. This is my absolute favorite week of college football. I was going to finish my Thanksgiving meal, get on the TV, and watch the damn Egg Bowl, and we cannot do that, Mike. We can't do it. Friday, we can't watch the Mizzou game.
It sounds like we're just doing it based on what Shane wants.
No, because at the end of the day, Mike, here's what happens. On Saturday, we got 3 awesome games at noon.
Right.
We've got 3 awesome games at night. It's like you can't watch 3 and really enjoy it. But they could have done this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday and made it so that we could enjoy it. And I get it.
Gotcha.
The NFL's doing their thing, and the Chiefs are playing on Friday, but golly, I just feel like they missed an opportunity, brother.
Yeah, I won't disagree with you there. I was just wondering where you were going with that, because it sounded like set the schedule to Shane's schedule here.
Yes. No. They should have called me. It would have been a quick conversation, all right? I would have said, hey, listen, let's have the Egg Bowl at 3. Let's have You know, it doesn't matter what games. Have 2 games Thanksgiving, 2 games on Black Friday. You could have had 2 at noon, 2 at 3, and 2 at 7 on the final day. And everybody got to enjoy all of SEC football, not leaving out one of the teams. Every one of them would have got ratings.
Right. Well, we're about to get some, Shane, because they're about to.
Yeah.
They delay this damn thing like no other. But shout out. You know what I ain't delaying? I ain't delaying a shout out to Too Slick. What a guy. He just gifted a membership, this time to Bradley. Bradley, welcome
to the family.
Thank you, Too Slick. Thank you, Bradley, for being part of the family here.
God, if he's like the Bradleys I know, he's probably one crazy bastard, you know? Look at them. They're all on. Okay, so now they're in the shoe here. They've got their laptops up, and like they're. I don't understand this whole
Shane,
drama.
if we were on this committee, how many cervezas would we be having just sitting back in that room?
They'd have. You'd never see me. I'd be like, Shane's never in there. Yeah, it's because he's getting something out of the snack room there, you know? He's wearing out the cheese ball they got in there. Oh, it's so stupid, the committee. I mean, no, I get it. It's for ratings or whatever, but they really play this thing up. It's not like they need to be in that room right now to reveal what we all know.
Right.
All right, here's a playoff explainer. This is why SEC can't have more teams in here.
Because we got to get Boise in here. We got to get Notre Dame. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. Hey, Too Slick gifted. He just gifted another one, Shane. Appreciate you, Too Slick. This time to Matt.
Too Slick, thank you.
Green. Matt, welcome
to the family.
What a guy. What a guy Too Slick is. You know what?
Oh, Too Slick's awesome, brother. I love college football playoffs, too. I mean, they're talking about home field advantage in a playoff match. I mean, what a freaking this is going to be great. I cannot wait for the first playoff game. I hope it's it don't even have to be in a killer spot. I mean, it could be anywhere, as long as it's not a neutral site game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's going to be freaking awesome.
Indiana and their 30,000 seat stadium.
I wonder how the seating goes for a home playoff. Like, does the home field get more tickets than the away team, or is it going to be like a 50-50 deal? Or
they have released that, but I don't have that information in front of me. Shout out cousin Patrick. He says Shane's war room is full of biscuits and bourbon, courtesy of Mark Stoops.
Yes, sir.
Okay, they're about to get here. I bet they love to tease us here, don't they, Shane?
Oh yeah, bunch of teasers. Bunch of teasers.
We got to hear what Booger's got to say.
Yeah,
come on, Booger.
I like Booger.
I like him, but let's get him to talk after the ranking reveal. You know,
well, he just talked on the last show. You know, it's like, yeah.
But again, if you're just now joining us, so that to hell with this committee. This is what they're going to give us here.
Yes,
very very close to it. If not exactly dead on here.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the one team that could get hurt, though, Shane, I will say, the one team that could be, and they ain't going to like this one, Shane. One team that could be affected here, I don't know if these are 100% updated.
Yeah.
Alabama. Because they lost 2 top 25 wins after LSU lost and Missouri lost. So there's a shot. There's a shot. Alabama's not 8. But they'll still be in it. But they may be 9 or 10 or something like that, if that makes sense.
That's a good point. That's a good point, Mike. That's why they pay you the big bucks.
Yeah. So I'm gonna have to do another Friday show explaining who should be rooting for, who you got to root against, because it's a wild scene here.
So the quality win or loss is if they're above 500, right?
Correct.
So is there any that you're looking at that may be not 500 by the end of the season here? Or?
Oh yeah, I mean there's many. That's why you really got to pay attention to a lot of these games. That's why if you're Tennessee, you got your fingers crossed that Vanderbilt beats LSU this weekend. But we'll get to that in just a second, Shane. They're doing the actual reveal here.
Okay, all right.
Number 25. I thought that was Auburn. I was like, Auburn's ranked. It's Illinois, number 25. Oh God, they just want another Big Ten in here. 7-3 Illinois is a top 25 team. UNLV. Would UNLV beat Mississippi State, Shane? I don't think so.
Hell no.
But they're 24 in the country, apparently.
8-2 UNLV.
Oh, there you go. Missouri. So Alabama, that's great news for Alabama, Shane. Missouri 23. So Alabama keeps that ranked top 25 win.
Dude, they need them to win out.
Iowa State, number 22. That's where LSU was last week. So LSU is not going to be ranked in the top 25. No surprise there.
Does LSU beat Iowa State? It may be closer than I thought.
And then here's Arizona State, 21. So, so far, the early reaction, Shane, good news for Alabama. You keep a ranked victory there. That's great news. Also, that's good news for A&M. That's good news for South Carolina. Mm-hmm. Anybody that's beaten Missouri, that's great news.
Yeah.
And now we're highlighting Arizona State for some damn reason.
Yeah. Look at him. He's an athlete that we'll never talk about in the NFL.
All right, I think we're doing it. I think we're back here, Shay. Come on, give us number 20. Number 20, Tulane. Oh, my Lord.
Oh, the Green Wave, baby.
I mean, these teams were just murdering the SEC, wasn't they?
Jeez.
Tulane.
Not even that. They're the best. Are they the best team in that state now?
According to the rankings, they are. Oh Lord, Army's 19. Okay, we're go.
Right.
I do support the troops, so I'm not going to talk trash here. But 19 Army.
I mean, they are undefeated.
Yeah, for sure.
At least for another week.
There you go. South Carolina 18. So not enough respect, in my opinion.
No,
not at all. South Carolina, that's. Should be around 15, I think. 17, Clemson.
It feels like a power ranking.
Right. So, again, you'll skyrocket past Clemson if you smash them.
This is good, though. Clemson winning, they got to keep winning.
And Colorado, 16.
There we go. Yeah, they're going to have to fight another 100-year-old having a birthday party this weekend, huh? Stay in the news one more week.
So, again, a lot of people were talking in the comments, where the hell's Colorado? Again, the Bar 2 reveal was only the top 15, so he was dead on. Colorado, not a top 15 team.
Tulane, 9-2. That is freaking nuts. They went up 5 spots.
15. That's the same spot as last week. No love for A&M, according to the committee, that 15, A&M.
This is stupid.
14, BYU, who lost. Come on, Shade. BYU versus A&M on a neutral field. Who's winning?
A&M, man. And then wasn't it like a 3-win team? And wasn't it Kansas?
Yeah, I think so. God.
At home. I think that was at home, wasn't it? Jeez Louise. We've been doing a lot of praying this weekend.
Yeah, good Lord, BYU 14 in the country. That's wild, isn't it?
That's not wild. That's just dumb. Just absolutely dumb.
Okay, 13. Here we go. 13. It's probably going to be SMU. Yep, SMU. But that's where Georgia was last week.
Yeah. They went up 1 spot. Well, I mean, they didn't do anything to lose it. I mean, I can't argue because they've been there. BYU with the loss, that's embarrassing. Even though it's 8 spots, you really should have dropped down further than that, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. So that's 12. Who will be 12? Come on now. Now, again, this is not so 12 is Boise. And because we're letting G5 in there, they get in for some reason. And Tennessee's probably going to be, 11. And out because of Boise. You let me know how that makes sense,
Is that what it is? I can't see. You're ahead of me. So
they haven't revealed it yet, but yeah, there you go. Tennessee is 11. So they dropped 4 spots.
So they're out.
But because Boise's G5, they put in Boise over Tennessee.
Damn.
And then Georgia's 10. 10 teams better than
Fringe.
9 teams better than Georgia. Come
Fringe Bulldogs here. Just knocked off a top 10 team by 2 scores.
So
Tulane wins, they move up 5 spots. Georgia wins, they go 2.
So, and we got Ole Miss number 9.
Oh my gosh, man, I hate this. Those 2 should be on the next round. You know, they should be on 5 and 4 right there.
Miami's 8.
Yeah, because they're undefeated, right? Oh no, they just lost to Georgia Tech.
Yep. Number 7, Alabama.
Oh man, Bama ahead of Ole Miss. Well, I guess what is it? The Kentucky is what they're giving them. Vanderbilt, Mizzou,
And then
Ole
Notre
Miss.
Dame's number 6, Shane. How about that?
They moved up 3 spots. Notre Dame, number 6. They got a barn burner this weekend.
Indiana, number 5. Man, so this ain't even the real bracket right here.
Nah.
Indiana 5. This is crazy, Shane. Now they're highlighting Indiana. What a great team they are.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you removed everything, I felt like we were playing 70s basketball here, and Indiana's relevant again. Is that when they were good? I'm trying to remember when the Hoosiers
I think
were.
it was the 80s, I think.
80s? Oh, okay.
Before Bob Knight started choking people out. But
Yeah. Oh, the good days. Throwing chairs, yeah. Can't do that anymore, Mike. You know?
Nope. Can't do it.
You hit them in the helmet that you're on Facebook the next day. Let's see, number 4.
So the 4, it's going to be Penn State
Yeah.
will be 4, Texas 3, Ohio State 2, and Oregon 1. That's what it'll be. But I'm waiting for them to give us the bracket here so I can update what we got here. But yeah, so again, Shane, BYU is 14th, right? Mm-hmm. They get the 3 seed. How stupid is that?
It's dumb.
So Tennessee doesn't even get in the thing, and BYU gets an automatic shot to the second round.
It's about as bad as that time they came to Knoxville and beat us. You remember that one?
Jeremy Pruitt, yeah. I remember it well.
What a miserable game that was. Oh, brother.
So
there it is.
I think it was almost exactly how we laid it out, and thankfully they're doing it right this time. They're revealing the top 25, and then they're filling out the bracket. But
Yeah.
so give us the
First
matchups
team out,
here.
Tennessee.
Yep.
Second team out, SMU. Oh, man, brother.
Oh wait, I was wrong. BYU. It's oh my God, this is even worse, Shane. Boise State is automatic into the second round.
Why wouldn't they be? Right? Brian Harsin had something to do with this.
Friggin' BYU is the 12th seed, so they're going to get smashed by Ohio State in round 1, and we'll all be subjected to that. Miami they automatically get to go to the second round because they are in the ACC. Texas 2. This is damn crazy.
Not
Shane.
even undefeated BYU. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you told me this happened, I'd say, oh, BYU must be undefeated. Oh, Boise State must be undefeated. No, these are one-loss teams.
Right.
Penn State, well, I guess I could get the argument Penn State, but Indiana, 10-0, they got to be there, but one of those are going to get knocked out here this weekend. Notre Dame plays Army, right?
They do, yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if Army beats Notre Dame if they just flip-flop them. Like just bypass everybody. Well, I guess you couldn't. It's a top 7 win, and hell, it didn't help Georgia any. They moved up 2 spots.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even like any of the first round games. Could you imagine Ole Miss fans going to Indiana for a playoff game? They would destroy that place. Destroy it. Oh, my gosh. Georgia going to Penn State. Now, that would be a fun game to watch, but I would love to see it. The fan interaction up there. being barked at. They've never been barked at their entire lives, man. Oh, gosh.
All right, so here we go. I'm updating the bracket here. Let's see. Get this garbage off my screen.
Yeah.
Just so people can see the actual bracket here. Playoff review. This is wild, Shane. Isn't it wild?
Wild times we live in, Mike. But like you said, nothing is guaranteed. Got to let them play out. Probably going to be a lot more chaos. This ain't going to be the last list we're pissed off at.
So this is what we got right here. Again, the bracket, Shane. Boise State into the second round. That stands out. BYU, Ohio State. I mean, what's the spread going to be there? Like 50? Bama, Notre Dame. I don't think that'll be a good game, but it is at. I mean, those two uniform. That's a uniform game right there in South Bend. That'll be great. Georgia, Penn State, another great uniform game, and then hell. Last week, Ole Miss had a better draw. I think not that it's Indiana, but last week they would have to win. I think against Penn State, who they beat in the bowl game, and then Miami. So again, we are punishing Ole Miss for not playing last week. Apparently,
Yep.
They got a tougher draw. They get Texas in round 2. But I do think I would feel pretty confident here, Shane, in this current bracket, even though I hate it. I think in this bracket, at the bottom, an SEC team's definitely coming out of it.
Yeah.
So we got Georgia, Ole Miss, Texas. One of them will be playing for the national championship in this scenario.
Yeah.
And then in the top, Alabama. I think they can beat Oregon.
Yeah.
And beat Ohio State. So Alabama up top. I mean, Alabama would have to go all the way, but it's a lot tougher, I think, on Alabama than it is Georgia, Ole Miss, or Texas. Because Alabama would have to not only win in the first round, but beat number 1 Oregon, and then probably, God, look at Ohio State, though. We give them BYU and Boise.
Yeah.
Get the hell out of here. So they'd have to beat Ohio State. That's a hell of a draw for Alabama. I hate this draw for Alabama.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one. They'd have to go through Oregon and, like you said, Ohio State most likely here, and then go against, Texas or Ole Miss or Georgia.
Right.
So, I mean, it is – we got a lot of great football if that happens, but there's going to be some shit games at the first. I feel like Notre Dame's going to get smoked. I feel like Indiana obviously would get smoked, and BYU. They shouldn't be in this thing. So, and Boise State. It is what it is. We're not on the committee. We can't make the selections here. I'm keeping my eye on some of these bubble teams, Mike. Like you said, Tennessee, Texas A&M, potentially South Carolina. We see more than ever after this reveal that we're going to need a lot of chaos, not just 1 or 2 games going your way. You're gonna need an upset or two, and then you got the championship games. That's one thing people are talking about. Lane Kiffin brought up this week. People are talking about what happens if one of these teams make it to a championship game and lose. Does that knock them out of the playoffs? So we're going to get to see what does that look like.
How about this comment from Rex? He says, "You two sound like a school nerd took your girlfriend."
Yeah. Been there.
And then Too Slick, appreciate you, brother. He gave us $10. He says, Army to the playoff if they go undefeated. If they aren't, the committee hates America.
I think we're all pulling for Army this week. So,
knock Notre Dame out. You know what?
Absolutely. So, I'm not totally pissed with this list, but like you said, we're just going to have to see it playing. Now that we're getting toward the end, there's some really crucial games that are going to be hitting the docket, not just in our conference, but others. So this thing is far from settled, Mike.
And real quick, even more important than that stupid committee, Shane. Shout out our guy Benjamin. Cousin Benjamin, he just gifted a membership to Chris Wilson. Chris, welcome to the family. But, all right, are you ready to move on to some SEC preview, Shane, or any other thing you wanted to hit on with this playoff?
We've got it. It's there. keep the receipts, hit the bookmarks. We'll come back to this thing. So, I just, again, we see where we're at. I'm a little upset. Again, South Carolina didn't move up more. I'm a little upset. Tennessee got bumped out, obviously. But, Missouri's still hanging in there. I think that's a big surprise. It does help a lot of SEC teams that they are. So they got to win out, and it sucks. Okay? Could you imagine right now you're one of these other teams and you're having to root for Mizzou? It's like you need them to win. Texas A&M needs, or not? Yeah, hell, Texas A&M needs them to win out.
And I think excellent point by you, Shane. Missouri is still ranked. These rankings and all this, I hate it to no end, Shane. It's completely bogus when a team like Missouri goes into what we're saying is maybe the hottest team in the country.
Yeah.
And it goes down to the wire, and it literally could have been their game had they made one play here, one play there. Again, I know they lost. There's no moral victories.
Yeah.
But why the hell would we rank you? And then you best game you played all year. You took a red hot team that's outstanding, that should be in the top 15. You took them down to the wire. You're not top 25. How stupid. Keep them. They deserve to still be ranked after that performance.
Can I ask you on the opposite end of this? Is there a team that you're looking at that could be a top 25 in the SEC by the end of the year? Is there any chance? I know LSU just got embarrassed down there in Florida. Can you pull up their schedule? Do you see any scenario that does become a top 25 win if they go and beat Vanderbilt and then Oklahoma at home?
8-4.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm just trying to see, is there any way that maybe a couple more of these SEC teams could be helped, by
Here's the one. You're looking at the wrong one.
Which one should
Vanderbilt.
Nah, I knew that one. I just ignored it. If
they beat LSU all on the road at night, they're top 25. Obviously, if they beat Tennessee, they should be top. But even if they don't, let's say they split, though. If they split, they go 7-5 with losing to Texas by 3, losing to South Carolina, losing to Mizzou in overtime at Mizzou.
Oh, buddy.
They're a different team in Georgia. We don't even have to reference that one. But Vanderbilt can get in there. I think that's the one. I got another one for you, Shane. You ain't gonna like. Well, no. This would save your season.
What is it?
Can you guess? Who's heating up here?
Who's it? South Carolina?
No, they're already ranked, brother.
Yeah. Oh, are you saying not ranked?
Yeah.
Who's heating up? Shit, I don't know.
Florida Gators.
Oh, damn.
If you beat Ole Miss and you turn around and dog whip Florida State like we know you're about to, hell, 7-5. That's not a great record. I get it, and I'm number one in the country. Shane said, let's not crown Billy Napier for winning one day of game here. But if you go 7-5 with that schedule, you're like that's like a 9-win team in a regular year. I think so. If Florida wins three straight to end, give him top 25.
Yeah, we better move on. You're getting out there now, Mike. You're getting way out there, brother.
Hey, shout out Brandon. He just gave us $20. He says, "Can we just go ahead and sign up for Indiana and Texas for them Ole Miss Rebels?"
Yeah,
so,
we can.
Yeah.
Thanks, cuz.
But hey, you know what else I signed up for, Shane?
What else would you sign up for, Mike?
Let me tell you. Before we get into all these great games.
Yeah.
I signed up for Manscaped. Come on, manscaped.com. Don't forget that promo code, that SEC. Shane, I know you know because I've seen what your house looks like on the inside right now. Holidays or Christmas right around the corner. You looking for a gift to give someone? Why not a Manscaped, Shane? We both use it. That's how I keep his beard trim. That's how Shane keeps that head so shiny there. Thanks to Manscaped. Again, that promo code, that SEC, get you 20% off, free shipping. They have helped over 11 million men worldwide, Shane, with the Manscaped. Cannot recommend them enough. They'll send you over the Chairman Pro package. That's what they sent us, Shane. Tell them about the Chairman Pro. It can't be beat, can it?
No, it cannot. Absolutely not. And it's a gift that keeps giving. You'll have it forever, Mike. That's what I'm saying. I remember the first one we did. What was it, like 7 years ago? I'm still working on that thing. They sent me another one. I got 2 of them. So battery's dead on one, I get the other one. This thing, well, I mean, it is fantastic. So if you're looking for a cool gift, it's a gift that they'll be able to keep forever. You can't go wrong with Manscaped.
Right. Don't forget that promo code, that SEC, for 20% off and free shipping. All right, Shane, how about this one? How about it? Speaking of them red hot Gators, oh buddy, are we worried at all for Ole Miss here? Brandon's already locking in the playoffs. I don't, but that I don't disagree with him. But this is the game. This is the game that could trip you up in the swamp. Gators are getting hot. Billy Napier, is he the greatest coach in college football, Shane? Hell no, he ain't. But DJ Lagway may be the best freshman quarterback in the country the way he's playing. And he'll be healthier, you would have to imagine. He just keeps getting better and better. Maybe he can run at some point this week. But great news for Ole Miss because it sounds Trey Harris, Kiffin says, is ready to go. The best receiver in the country. Is going to be suiting up for the Ole Miss Rebels. Shane, how crazy is this? I wish I had the receiver stats graphic I made. He hasn't played in 3 weeks. Mm-hmm. He still leads the SEC in receiving yards. Shane, that's how outstanding Trey Harris has been. And we all know Ole Miss coming off a bye, beat the brakes off Georgia. That was maybe the most impressive win in the country this year. What's your thoughts on this matchup, Shane? And do you have any confidence at all that Florida can stay hot and beat the coach that they were dying to get about 2 weeks ago?
Oh, buddy, this is the game right here, man. I wouldn't have said that 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, but the way that Florida has been progressing, I don't know, man. There's just a quiet swagger that's going on with that football team. I even got to see it after there was a video floating around, Billy doing a dance in the locker room. Didn't even know that I mean, he just looks like he's not the dancing type, but he promised the boys that if they beat LSU, he'd do it. And I tell you what, they're having some fun, and it's been a long time since they were having fun down there in Gainesville. And I feel like that's better. That's best for this football team to play a little bit of loose. You got nothing to lose. I mean, nobody's expecting you to win it. You can lose this football game, and guess what? I think Billy's coming back. But I think that makes them dangerous. That makes them very dangerous because Ole Miss has everything to lose in this football game. They go down there and lose this thing, they're out. They're completely out. They're knocked out of the college football playoffs. There's no redeeming themselves. I don't think that Florida, even if they beat Ole Miss, becomes a top 25. You cannot come up with a scenario that this would be good for Ole Miss. So, yeah, a lot of pressure on them, but this isn't the first time they've had it either. They had it when they were coming into the Georgia game. They had it when they were going to the LSU game. This is a team that when they are dialed in, they are dangerous. They could be the most dangerous football team in the country. So you're just wondering, is this a team that, kind of takes their foot off the gas, or is this a team that just squashes them and moves on to the college football playoffs?
If Billy Napier wins this game, Shane, is he may give him an extension.
Nah, he was lucky to get a letter from Strickland,
But I mean, would you have any doubts that he's the right guy for the job if he was able to win this one?
Yes, I still have doubts. I not one game, 2 games is going to say if Billy wins the next 2 games, I still have my doubts. I'm not convinced that he is the future for the University of Florida, but he will be next year. Obviously that's going to be the case. There's some hope, man. And I feel like that's the most important part is you've got youth that are playing fantastic football down there in Florida. And that's what the fans, if you follow any of them, we got a ton of cousins out there, Gator fans, and they find those little nuggets of positivity. And I think the positive vibe is just the future, and the ones that were just completely out on Billy, they're kind of coming back into. You see a little bit of that, but there's still some of those that's like, nah, we need a guy, But so we'll see. But this would be a huge feather in his cap if he can pull off this upset.
Shane, do you have any idea who Billy Napier grew up rooting for in the SEC, is the SEC team?
Don't tell me Ole Miss.
Tennessee.
Oh, well, yeah, he lived, yeah.
And this is his opportunity, Shane, to help out his beloved Vols. Because if he beats Ole Miss and Tennessee wins out, Tennessee's going to the playoff. So there's a lot of factors here, but flip it the other way. What is Ole Miss thinking?
Yeah.
They crushed Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
They put a hurting on Georgia, obviously. I think the mindset for Ole Miss is we have got to beat the hell out of these teams.
Yeah.
To show the committee that they cannot leave us out. So this is a team that's gaining steam versus a team that I have is the best in the SEC right now, the Ole Miss Rebels. And if they have an opportunity to win by a large margin, I think they're going to do it.
Yeah. No. Because you got to remember, too, there's a little bit of that backdoor drama. I don't know if that's the best word, but yeah, that's not the best. That is definitely. Can we scrub that? I forgot we're live, but Mike, but the whole narrative that Lane Kiffin's going to take this Florida job. You know, how many times has that happened? And after a win, he doubles down his commitment to the University of Ole Miss. Don't be surprised if you don't see that after the football game too, especially if they blow him out. That would be something Lane would definitely troll the next few weeks.
Well, it's not just me, Shane, saying Ole Miss best team in the SEC. You know who else who said it?
Who said that?
Nick Saban. You want to see what old Kiffin had to say about that?
Oh, please. Yes.
Did you see what Nick Saban said on game day about Ole Miss?
Refresh me.
He said you guys are probably the best team in the SEC, or have you done a good job of staying away from that kind of noise?
He's now become the rat poisoner then. So he's doing exactly what he complained about. That changes every week based on how you play. Like, we've been playing great, but we got to do that again, He's the same that, just told me after the Georgia game, to remind our guys, the success of the past doesn't mean you're going to have success in the future. It doesn't dictate that. You got to do it again. So we got to go play, and I'm telling you, this is a big challenge, man. What were they, 4-5 or something last week in Florida, and the crowd was electric. It looked like the conference championship was on the line. So, you got a place that they play really well at home. Look at their home and road record.
The rest of his coach speak. But the point there, Shane, rat poison, he's right. The king of rat poison, now he's out there delivering it. You know what?
I wonder if Nick thought about that. Like, I'm going to get him. I'm going to get that bastard. Many times he pissed me off down there. I felt like there was a little bit of a personal vendetta there, but I love it, man.
And despite what they may put out there, Shane, they are not on good terms. So just throwing that out there. Jesse, appreciate you, brother. You give us $20. He says, if Texas is top 10,
thanks, cuz.
then Vandy's top 10. Tell me where I'm wrong. Maybe Georgia State maybe would disagree with that, but I see the point. I mean, basically, I see the point. I see the point.
You think going back to Nick Saban comments, you felt like Lane didn't appreciate that? Is that what you're saying? Because I felt like, I don't know, maybe I have a different understanding of their relationship, but it feels like there's a little bit of respect given, if he says anything positive about Lane Kiffin's football team. Or do you think that he really felt like this was kind of a jab from the king?
Yeah, I think he knows that's going to get to Kirby, and I think he knows that's going to get to Caleb DeBoer. So they can use that as motivation to knock him off. That's what I think. Because they're not on good terms. And when that job came open, they didn't even consider Kiffin.
Okay.
Saban would not have been happy if they hired freaking Lane Kiffin. And I also have heard that was a big reason why Lane didn't take the Auburn job, because he knew they'll never, especially if I do well at Auburn, they will never turn around and hire me after I whooped their ass a couple times. You know what?
No, I got you. You think that's like his dream job was USC, but do you think there's any jobs out there, maybe bucket list, that he says, hey, if this ever comes open, I'm taking it? Do you think he's got any, or you think he's just kind of playing it as it goes? Happy with what he's got?
Well, I mean, I think any of these coaches, if they're being honest, they want to be at a handful of schools that if you're doing it right, you can guarantee that you're going to be in the race.
Yeah.
You know, whether that's in Alabama, Georgia, or Texas. I mean, it's a short list, Ohio State, you know, something like that. And that's more to do with the money and the resources and the talent surrounding them than it does any. But that's the beauty of this new model.
Yeah.
And NIL and transfer portal, where they were the kings. I don't know that they're the kings anymore. I really don't.
Speaking of rivals, we're going hypothetical, and maybe it's the beer talk, and if Brian Kelly made an exit, do you think Lane would consider an LSU position?
Oh, buddy.
It's near body of water.
Shade, Ole Miss about to maybe win the national championship. You're trying to steer their coach to another school. I don't get where you're going with this.
I don't know. Maybe it's the beer talking.
I think he would have. He definitely would have in the past, but I don't think so at this point in time.
Okay.
But
All right.
let's change it to this real quick, because this is a big talking point. Is what we've been saying, and I've been seeing the comments, Shane. Some of these cousins are like, "You two dumb rednecks. Everybody wants to go to the SEC championship. These players, that's all they talk about. These coaches, they're dying to get to the SEC championship." One thing I do love about Lane Kiffin, Shane, he tells it like it is.
Mm-hmm.
He don't sugarcoat it. Here's what he had to say.
SEC championship means, or the game means, for teams that maybe like y'all have 2 losses already?
Ooh, it's a challenging question. I don't know. I guess I would say, you know, it's changed. The conference championship, you know, could have a big impact both ways for people. So I've talked to other coaches, so I'll just kind of give you the feeling from some other coaches that, you know, they don't want to be in it. And, you know, the risk to get a bye, the reward to get a bye versus the risk to get knocked out completely. I mean, that's a really big risk, just to get a bye. So I think it's ended up being a very unique situation of all, you know, postseason sports, the way that system's set up there, and how you could go to that and get knocked out, and if you don't go, you're in. I'm not a big gambler, but that's kind of one of them Vegas, you know, like poker table thing, like that's all in. And you're going all in, in the best conference in football, so you got to play somebody great too. Very different than a lot of these other conferences.
And just to follow up on it, do you feel like it's inadvertently maybe diluted the meaning of not just the SEC, but some of these other conference championships that weekend?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's a secret. I think it definitely has. You know, so that just is what it is. There's a cost and benefit to everything. There's great benefits to this playoff system, and so many people being excited, and fans and programs and more games. And then there's cost too. You know, the conference championships don't mean as much. And it's not just, do you potentially get knocked out by losing it? Do you go get more injuries? So you're going to go get more injuries, play another game to get a bye, but then the other people are having a bye while you're playing. So I think that's why, and you can go on record of saying it, why a lot of coaches, or some coaches I've talked to, don't want to go to it.
Man, imagine 4 or 5 years ago, Shane, any of these SEC coaches say, you know what, I don't want to go to this damn SEC championship. But I think he's 100% right.
But so we've talked about the problem. We talked about all the bad that comes from SEC championships.
Mm-hmm.
What's the good? What is the good right now? I mean, maybe
you get a bye.
Yeah,
but to me, I don't really even consider it a bye because you got to play the extra game.
No, I get that, and what's kind of what he's saying, and I feel like even if you're one of those teams that said, well, they need this to get into the playoffs, I feel like if you're in the SEC championship, odds are moving forward, they were going to be in it anyway if they were second in the SEC. So I don't know, man. I mean, short of, and then you can't turn around because my other reaction is like, well, let's just not penalize anyone for the SEC championship. Let's just say, hey, you make it to that, not an automatic bid, but wherever you're at, you will not be docked points if you lose this football game. But then again, you may start having opt-outs like we have in some of these bowl games, and they're saying, well, if it doesn't mean anything, then we won't put these kids out here.
But here's the deal, Shane. I don't know if you realize this. I don't know if the audience realizes this, so I'm going to educate y'all. If Alabama wins out, do you know why they're going to the SEC championship over Ole Miss, which would be 6-2 in conference play, as is Alabama, and Tennessee, which is 6-2 in conference play, but beat out? Do you know why Alabama has the edge when we do I got the tiebreaker website? Alabama's got the edge over anybody. Do you know why? Because they don't play Mississippi State. Because the tiebreaker is, if it, but when there's 3 or 4 teams with 6-2, they can't go head to head.
Yeah.
Because they're not playing each other. So the next tiebreaker is record of opponents faced in the conference.
Yeah.
So because Mississippi State's awful, and they're the worst team, and they don't have a damn win, and they got nothing but losses, that is negatively hurting Tennessee and Ole Miss in this tiebreaker. So we're saying, we got to protect Alabama. They made it to the SEC championship. Well, that's true. But because they didn't play Mississippi, like, why do we have to protect the team that didn't play Mississippi State? You see, it's just, it's all weird.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but again, we're in the middle of it. So, I don't know. The committee, we don't know. They come out and they said, hey, we watched all these football games. We watched. It's like if they have their charts, but there's also a little bit of, obviously controversy in the room, or at least some sort of context of why this team gets in, this team doesn't. And I just curious, what's the thought process when we start hitting these games? Because, do they give more credit for these than that's the opposite, Mike? What if you go to one of these conference games that is not the SEC and the underdog, beats Miami or whatever, and then all of a sudden you're like, well, shit, we can't leave Miami out. They're really good, So I'm just wondering if.
Well, I think because Miami's lost, because BYU lost.
Yeah,
where we'll eliminate them. That was
this year.
Those were wins. Yeah, this year.
Yeah,
those were wins for the SEC because whether it's Colorado, whether it's BYU, SMU, whatever you got, their champion gets in. The rest, to hell with them, as it should be. But it wouldn't have been. It probably wouldn't have been if Miami was undefeated.
Yeah,
they would have said, "Well, Miami's 12-1. We can't leave them out."
Exactly. And that's what I'm worried about is, does this affect future, or do they change it as they go and try to make it better? Because right now I'm not enjoying it.
How about Brodo Baggins? Appreciate you, brother. I listen to y'all when I fall asleep sometimes. It's like two uncles telling you a grand story about the great SEC. Feels like a cozy blanket.
Oh, man. It won't be long. I'll start breaking out some stories, the high school days. Back when I was in high school, they didn't have these playoffs, Mike. You had 2 teams, a BCS. Tell them about that computer program. Ugh.
Right. Well, hey, before we move on, Shane.
Yes.
To the next game. I cannot recommend Public Rec enough, Shane. Head on over publicrec.com. Put in that promo code SEC for 20% off your entire. What is this Public Rec? What's this Public Rec, Shane? It is the daytime pants. They got pants that are so comfy, Shane. Long sleeve shirts. It's getting cold outside. I don't know if you noticed. It's finally damn near December here. It's just now getting cool outside.
Yeah.
But you're going to need some long sleeve shirts. You're going to need some pants, some joggers over here. Head on over to publicrec.com. They sent me over a pair of each. I got a long sleeve and a pants here from Public Rec. Cannot recommend them enough, Shane. You can get them specified to your exact size, come in 10 different colors. And I know Brodo's over there getting cozy. I get cozy when I put my Public Rec on. I'll tell you that.
Hell yeah, man. And the kids love it. So if you're looking for another gift this Christmas, this is an easy one. You don't even have to know their exact size. Get a little bit bigger, they'll be comfortable, and they'll love it.
Shay, that's all we do. We give out gifts to the cousins out there. You know what?
It's the Christmas show. all of a sudden. You know, I got my lights up. I skipped Thanksgiving. You know, it's like, remember that? We used to be like they kept pushing the seasons back further and further, you know? I mean, it was November 1st. We were putting Christmas lights up.
Yeah, those were the days. Those were the days.
Thanksgiving with Christmas tree up.
Well, you know what? When you say Christmas tree, you know what it makes me think of?
What's that, buddy?
Jimbo, but old former
Oh.
A&M coach, A&M playing at Auburn, and Shane, is this a trap game? People are trying to make it out to one. A&M's a 2.5. Remember when we did it the other night when the lines debuted? It was a 1-point line.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's 2.5, so it's a little bit. I mean, I'm still a little shocked by this line here, but you know, there's a lot of talk that this is a trap game.
Yeah.
I wasn't buying it, Shane. I was not buying it till I heard this.
There's already so much talk about November 30th. You know, it was announced as a night game today. How do you deal with that with your guys and saying, hey, we still have something ahead of us at Auburn, or is that even a big issue with your team?
I don't think it's an issue. I think when you're in the situation we're in, it's easy to focus on the task at hand. You know, I think, you know, those big games earlier in the year, you know, maybe you look ahead. If we didn't have that stake, what's at stake? Maybe you would worry about it. I think our focus is single-handedly on on Auburn right now, and locked in on what we got to get done.
Not even
buddy.
worried about Auburn, man. We're so dialed into the long. Wait, we play Auburn this week. Yeah, we got them, but yeah.
Now was that?
love it.
I think that could have just been. You know, he's asked
Yeah.
about Texas, so it's on his mind. I get it, but that is hilarious. But man, that I think is the path to Auburn winning this game. If
Yeah.
Texas A&M is focused on Texas, otherwise I don't see it, Shane. I'm not like you and the rest of these people that think Hugh Freeze is the greatest coach and all he does is win. I'm seeing the Christmas tree of his schedule here. All I see is losses at home, unless it's ULM, New Mexico, or Alabama A&M, which I didn't even know I had a team till this year. But and all I've seen at A&M, Shane, is them. Hell, we counted against them at Florida,
Yep.
beat their ass. Counted against them. LSU beat them, but they have played well outside of the buzzsaw that is Williams-Brice. They have played well on the road. Throw in Arkansas as well. That's not truly a road game, but not a home game either. So
Right.
they have faced some tough environments. Yes, they failed one of them, but passed the others. I don't have much doubt that A&M is going to be up for this game. Do you?
Of course I do. I do. They know I don't like Texas A&M. No, I'm just kidding. I don't hate Texas A&M, but one of the things I was wondering about, Mike, was like, who is most likely to be the Grinch this year? Is it Billy Napier with Ole Miss, or is it Hugh Freeze? I mean, Hugh Freeze has an opportunity twice. I mean, he can knock off A&M. He can knock out Bama. So I'm leaning a little more toward Hugh Freeze, which is more likely, Hugh Freeze to win one of those games with Auburn or Florida to beat Ole Miss. So they're underdogs, but not by much, Mike. I mean, look, we're talking 2 points here. So Vegas is trying to tell you right now, this is a damn football game. This is a field goal football game. And yeah, if A&M comes in there thinking about Texas, it ain't going to matter. It ain't going to matter if you're down 21 points to Auburn. You know what I'm saying? And not saying they're going to be, but you got to be dialed in. You've got to be completely locked in 1 week at a time. I hate to go coach cliche on you here, but that's exactly what these boys are going to have to do. And they have got to be ready because Auburn wants it. Auburn's just like Florida. They're just looking to spoil something and have that signature win toward the end of the season so we can forgive Hugh Freeze and all the bullshit we saw earlier this year.
Well, Shane, you talk about the Grinch.
Yeah.
If you want to be Santa or Santa's little helper, you'll do your part and you'll lock Auburn against them at Texas A&M fighting Aggies. You know what?
You may be right. I got a good feeling about it. So I ain't going to reveal it. I ain't going to reveal it.
But no, this will I do think could be a test. Just mostly because of that. I mean, Auburn does have a really good defense. And A&M's missing some pieces on the offensive side. They're getting, they're pretty banged up at this point in time. So could A&M run out of gas? That's going to be a big question for me. Meanwhile, you're right. I mean, Auburn's still got their bowl hopes alive. Yeah. They could sell that. They could sell the future. They got all this young talent.
Yeah.
This could be the game that elevates Auburn to that next stage. You know what?
Last week, even though it was a terrible football team, it was still exciting to see that much offense come from the Auburn Tigers. I mean, when you hired Hugh Freeze, that's what you wanted. We always know Auburn's going to have good defense. They recruit well. It's just going to happen. And they're both kind of coming together at the right time. And yes, Peyton Thorne, rough start to the season, but here lately has been really good football. I mean, I'm not saying you go out and, name your grandson, Peyton Thorne or Peyton, when he comes out. But I do feel like Peyton has turned over a new leaf. He's actually a very, very good serviceable quarterback. And hell, Hunter's fresh because it hasn't been running the first 10 games. So, may have been saving them for these last two.
Hey, how about this from Whoa? He just gave us $5. Said, can you guys add a fan delusion ranking in addition to the wonderful panic meter? What fan base do you think is most delusional right now, Shane?
Most delusional right now? Oh, Mike. I've got maybe Texas right now.
He said it, not me. I was going to say Auburn.
I'm not saying that they're wrong, but the problem with Texas that I'm having is what happens if they do lose that last game. You know what I'm saying?
Meanwhile, Zoe V says, Auburn manscaping these crying-ass Aggies on Saturday, Mike. We're embracing the SEC hate. Shane, toss me a cold one, brother, and hook 'em. Shane just called you delusional, not me.
Nah, but not delusional. It's just they're so focused on. I think they're convinced that they are the top football team in the country right now.
Oh, gotcha. And they got to go out and earn it, right?
Yeah. I mean, we were convinced that when Georgia came to town and you got punched in the mouth. So I don't want them to lose because I do think Texas is a playoff team. I do think Texas is a top 12 team, and hell, Texas may even win this whole freaking thing their first year. But they can't lose their grounding. They can't lose their footing. They do have a weaker schedule than most, and they are going to punish the shit out of them if they lose another football game.
Well, speaking of getting punished if he loses another game, Shane, that's a perfect segue. Vanderbilt at LSU. Shane Bryant, Kelly, you better get this one at home. Again, we respect Vanderbilt. We love Diego Pavia. But your fan base, they don't give a damn about Vanderbilt, Shane. You have beaten this team 9 in a row. You own them. Everybody owns them. Nobody respects them. Your fans are going to run your ass out if you have 4 consecutive losses. This is mighty LSU, Shane.
Yeah.
Outside of the COVID year, that was a garbage year anyway, but this is before Nick Saban. This literally has never happened. So, I mean, is there anybody facing more pressure than facing the fighting Diego Pavias, 2 weeks to prepare, than them LSU Tigers this week?
No, they are a tiger that's been bit. You know what I'm saying? You ever watch like the Discovery Channel and them hyenas are circling around? That's this tiger right here. They picked a hell of a time to have a live tiger down there. But brother, I worry about them. I really worry about them because they're reeling. You got your coach yelling at players on the sideline. It's not a good look. That shit like that gets locker rooms divided. It may be a one type conversation, but kids talk. And if they say, hey, this damn guy ain't the guy, like that, or they start talking portal talk, you could divide a locker room really, really quick. And that's not what you want going against Vanderbilt because we've seen it. We've not seen a good Vanderbilt in a while. But the nice thing is they had a little bit of a break here. Pavia, right. I know he's been in court all week, but there's a shot that Pavia isn't coming back next year. And he can end his legacy on a positive note. He's doing his damnedest to stamp an opportunity in the NFL now. And to do that, you go out here and you beat LSU. You go out here and you beat Tennessee. Vanderbilt's still in this thing, Mike.
Right. And I would have never imagined, Shane, just a couple of weeks ago that Garrett Nussmeier progress to the level that he has. And I don't know that it's all his fault. I think it's a lot of the protection issues. LSU's offensive line gave up 7 sacks. I mean, again, who in the hell's going to play good football when they're getting harassed all night long?
Yeah.
He's got no confidence in the interior of his offensive line. And you got to know Clark Lee seeing that on tape and saying, let's attack this. This is going to be a real opportunity, I think, for Vanderbilt to get another signature type win, even though LSU's, not the LSU of old. I think this is an opportunity for Vanderbilt to kind of plant that flag and say this is not a fluke. This is who we are now. And again, they're going to want it to be low scoring. They're going to want it to be Diego Pavia chewing the clock, running. We know they can't defend a running quarterback to save their life. So this is a tough matchup. I really do think for LSU's defense that's hurting, and the offense, which is scoring about 17 points per game the last couple against. I know Vanderbilt doesn't have that great of a defense, but you put Clark Lee, give him 2 weeks to game plan for a coach he used to coach with, knows him quite well. They spent time at Notre Dame. I think this is a really good matchup.
Yeah. I mean, like he said, he talks about, I don't know if you got the clip, but he talks about, everything that Kelly meant to him. And the thing about Vanderbilt, it's such a difficult offense to prepare for. You don't play a team like this. And so even though the LSU defense has really been kind of reeling here lately, they got a whole new wrinkle heading their way. And how many times have we said, hey, they got all week to prepare for this one, and then all of a sudden, a mobile quarterback beats the shit out of them. So I'm really worried about LSU. I think it helps that they're at home. I do think it helps Vanderbilt still a little banged up here. They're going to have some depth issues, and so I think there's still what's the spread on this one? I haven't even checked here lately.
LSU by 8.
My bookie's got it at 8, huh? So,
but remember, Shane, after that Florida loss, what did Weeks, the linebacker, say? He's like, communication is an issue. We got guys don't know what play we're running. That's how a team like Vanderbilt beats you.
Yeah,
because they're highly efficient. They're not overly talented, but they know the scheme. They stick to it, and they execute on critical downs.
Yeah,
that's again a rough matchup, I think, for LSU.
Yeah. And again, LSU's got 2 losses at home. So it's that Death Valley, even though we talk about how great it is, it's kind of taking a hit a little bit this year.
Yeah. Well, speaking of taking hits, Alabama at Oklahoma. Oklahoma had 2 weeks to prepare, though. Alabama's a 13-point favorite. I thought that was 13 touchdowns at first, Shane. I mean, good Lord. Although Oklahoma does, for whatever it's worth. They got the all-time edge here, 3-2 with 1 tie. But, man, Alabama marching their way to the SEC championship, marching their way to the college football playoff, Shane. Any shot, 0 out of 100, that Oklahoma puts it all together, 2 weeks to prepare, does not have any catastrophic issues on offense, plays tough defense, makes Milroe beat him with his arm. I think that's a recipe. Any shot, you see it happening.
I think this year, Mike, everybody's got a shot.
Yeah.
I mean, this isn't 10 years ago. This ain't 20 years ago. This 2024 season is absolutely bonkers. I mean, we're talking about Vanderbilt just a minute ago, a touchdown underdog going into Death Valley. So anything can happen this year. I think Oklahoma would love nothing more than to get a bowl game, man. They've got to do it either this week or they got to beat LSU. They've got to get a win somewhere. One thing I will say, coach is dealing with some emotional stuff, and as an emotional coach and a player's coach, I feel like there may be a little extra gas in the tank there for the team as well. So there's a lot going on with Oklahoma, and to say that Alabama is just going to come out here and steamroll them, I can't say that. I feel like this is going to be a damn battle here, and Oklahoma's going to give them everything they got.
Right. And, I mean, it wasn't that long ago, Shane, we were sitting here like, oh, good Lord, Alabama, what are we doing to the defense?
Mm-hmm.
Secondary issues. Seems like culture issues. No, that's been cleaned up. So, again, but those are the things that resurface on the road potentially. Sure as hell didn't in Tiger Stadium the other weekend. But again, I'm just saying that this is the path to perhaps Oklahoma doing the unthinkable and at least even making it a tight ball game against the Tide.
Mike, I don't know who it is. I don't know which team it is, but there's going to be a team, and the fan base is going to sit there at night, about 8 beers in, second pack of cigarettes, saying, how the hell did we lose to that team? I don't know if it's this one. I'm just saying there is going to be a fan base this weekend that's going to say that. They've already done exactly what I did, and they've already put them in, penciled them in for a college football playoff spot, and they're going to lose it this Saturday. So I don't know which one it is, but I can feel it. I can feel it in my bones, Mike.
Could it be Kentucky?
Oh!
Yeah, Texas. Mighty Texas. Shane, Kentucky's already done it once before. It beat Ole Miss. Damn near beat Georgia. I mean, they're the strangest team in the damn SEC this year. If they haven't given up, which it kind of looks like, wow, no, I can't really even say that because I thought it against Auburn, and then they turn around and outplay Tennessee for a lot of that game. You know what?
Yep.
So maybe this is the week that happens. But again, we're all consumed with Mike Elgo's comments.
Mm-hmm.
How is Texas not looking ahead to A&M this trip? We got to win it. We can't. After all this, look at these comments, Shane. They're just bombarded with Texas people. We own you. You suck ass. SEC ain't nothing. We run this conference. We're going to beat the hell out of A&M and shove it all in your face. Overlooking Kentucky, though, that'll get you beat in a damn hurry. They still got a defense down there last time I checked. And Texas, they have a good defense as well. But their offense is not as elite as people seem to believe it is. This is more of a defense, kind of like Tennessee, but maybe at a little bit higher level. That, again, if this is a low-scoring game,
Yeah.
that is a path to Kentucky making it a ball game.
I don't know if Sark ever listens to this. In fact, I know he doesn't. But hopefully Matthew McConaughey can get this to him. Matt, here's what you need. Remember when you were in school and they rolled in the TVs and you got all pumped up because you're going to get to watch a movie? You remember that?
Oh, yeah.
They need to bring TVs everywhere on campus, 5, 6, 7 of them, and they need to put the Ole Miss Kentucky game on repeat. I mean, everywhere you go to the locker room, that game's playing. You go to the cafeteria, that game's playing. You coming back from practice, that game's playing. I feel like he should quiz the kids. We're going to have a pop quiz about something that happened in the Ole Miss Kentucky game because this is exactly what I was talking about. This is the delusion I'm talking about. And I don't know if it's in the locker room, but I know it's with the fans. The fans, they're not even talking about this damn football game. And they shouldn't. I mean, they should steamroll them. But if you go in with that attitude, ill-prepared, you make a mistake here, you make a stupid mistake there, then all of a sudden you got yourself a damn football game. And if Coach Stoops has shown us anything, look at the Georgia game. Look at the Tennessee game. There were moments. These are big teams, good teams, great defenses that Kentucky gave fits to. So, yes, there is no game you can just completely say, hey, this is an easy dub, because if you convince yourself of that, you're going to find yourself in a ball game because Coach Stoops and company, they got nothing to lose here, buddy.
Right. But that being said, you get to 21 points, you're golden because Kentucky can't score.
Yeah, it's not I mean, the recipe is not that hard, but if you let them kind of linger around, that's when you get a little frustrated and you lose some points. I feel like this needs to be a style game, because if something does happen next week with A&M, I want to look back at this Kentucky matchup and I'm going to say, well, man, I mean, look what they did to Florida. Look what they did to Kentucky. They made a few mistakes down here in College Station. So I just feel like this one, you've got to not just squeak by. You've got to destroy them, but you can't destroy them if you're already thinking about A&M.
Well, speaking of getting destroyed, oh, buddy, we don't have to spend a lot of time on this game, Shane. South Carolina, Wofford. But we do got a clip here. Shane Beamer.
Yeah.
Shout out. Yeah. Well,
let them guess.
That left our program after last season, and one of the reasons he told me that we were leaving is he said, I don't think we're going to be very good and we don't have a quarterback. Like, he told me that. And I said, well, I disagree. We got us a quarterback. You've seen, our quarterbacks at practice, and we're going to be good around him. And that player said, I don't know, Coach, it ain't looking too good. Well, he's somewhere else right now, and there's a lot of guys that are here and are glad they're here as well.
Oh, shame, baby. Never gonna forget a comment like that. You know what?
Who is he talking about?
Old Juice there, huh?
Yeah, old Judas, as they say in Columbia, Mike. So, hey, I love it. I love it. And I was right there with him. You know, I was in the camp. I didn't think South Carolina had anything, but, you know, there's a reason we're talking about them as a fringe playoff team now, brother, because of quarterback play especially. So Sellers playing out of his damn mind here the last few weeks, and I expect that to continue, especially against Wolford here.
Right. And then we got a couple other cupcakes, but maybe, well, I mean, it certainly should be, Shane. Louisiana Tech at Arkansas. The footballs are split here, which is pretty shocking. But again, Arkansas is a huge 23-point favorite at home. This is a must-win for Sam Pittman, must-win to get to bowl eligibility. But any shot, I mean, the way, I hate to say it, Shane, our offense is floundering a little bit here.
Yeah.
Any level of concern that we could slip. I mean, this is what Arkansas does. I mean, sometimes they let one slip, even at home.
Yeah.
I mean, that UAB game comes to mind. They didn't lose it, but they looked ugly in it. Any chance Arkansas slips up here?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, this is you look at Arkansas. Go back to their schedule. One thing I was noticing is, and I brought it up on the other one. They're due a win. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I feel like Sam's safe. I know it's crazy. There's some people that hate it. They're making billboards about it, which I think is dumb. But I feel like there's another year of Sam Pittman here, but that goes right out the window. You lose to La Tech, you know, the second best team in Louisiana. If that happens, Mike, there is no way that you're bringing Pittman back. So no, come out here, put this thing away, make it fun, man. Make it that 70-point win against Peanut Butter, and let's get all pumped up about this Mizzou matchup coming up, and end with two straight wins.
Right. Yeah, we got to get some confidence for that one, Shane.
Yes.
'Cause again, I know the Arkansas they get so mad, Shane. They get so mad.
It's not a rival.
It's not a rival. Well, yeah. What I don't want, and this has happened so many times, Shane, where you lose a game like this, and then you're just apathetic in the final, and Missouri beat you, 35-3 or something. And it's just why is this on during this great Thanksgiving type holiday? You know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely.
So we don't want that. We also don't want, Shane, I mean, this is hilarious. UMass, they're fighting their asses off to get into the SEC, Shane. UMass at Georgia. Football's favor them, 42-point favorite. They just fired their coach, Shane. And that has officially flipped my mind. I think they're going to get it done now that UMass fired their coach.
Yeah, this one's about health for me, man. Georgia's got a lot of injuries, and I feel like this is a perfect game to get 2 good quarters and then get out of there. Don't get too physical. There's no reason that this should be a damn ball game going into the third quarter, and get ready for Tech, because Georgia Tech's very, it's a tricky program. Obviously they just knocked off Miami a couple weeks ago, so they're a team that can beat you. So I think that's what we need to be focused on. But come out here, play some clean up the dumb mistakes you made last week.
And speaking of style points, Shane, UTEP at Tennessee. Tennessee needs some style points. That's the only thing they can get this week. Vols favored by 42.5. I mean, if they don't, they better cover, Shane, because they need impressive looking wins for their resume.
42 is not enough, Mike. 42 is not enough. I think we need about 60 points in this game. Just a total, lay it to them. Just excited. Let Nico throw about 7 touchdowns in this thing. I mean, every pass a bomb. You know what I'm saying? And because again, this is style. Nobody's going to be talking about it, but they'll talk about it if you can get 70, 80 points in this thing. So that's exactly what Tennessee. They don't need a 30-point win here. That's for sure.
And they'll talk about it if it's close. This is like a lose-lose situation.
Absolutely. This game can definitely hurt you, Mike.
All right, real quick, Shane, we got some donations to go out on here. Drew Deasy, appreciate you, Drew.
Thanks, Drew.
Gave us $5. Guys, do you Guys, who do you believe has the best win in the SEC so far this season? You know, I was talking with someone else. I'll give the edge to Georgia beating Texas. Now, there's about 4 or 5 different, you know, like Ole Miss beats Georgia, Tennessee beats Bama, Bama beat Georgia. But the difference, Shane, to me, only one of those was a road game, and it was Georgia going down to Austin. So to me, that is the most impressive. But it doesn't have to be the answer. What do you think?
Well, I thought there was a lot of really good games. I thought the Vanderbilt Bama game, I mean, obviously everybody was talking about that one, and that's where it kind of had the Pavia come out party, and you know, it kind of lost its luster toward the end of the season, but you know, it put them in the top 25, so I thought that was a big one. And
Is that the best win, though?
the best win?
I mean, it could
I
be.
mean, at the time, I felt like the Ole Miss LSU game was a really good win. You know, obviously that one came down to the very, very end, but if things went a little bit different, Ole Miss wouldn't be in, brother. You know, Ole Miss would be completely out right now. The team that you're talking about being the number one in the SEC. So,
Right.
I felt like that was a big one.
How about this one from Chase? Appreciate you, Chase. Give us $10. I know the odds are against South Carolina, but what's better for South Carolina? A&M to win the SEC or get beat by Texas? Plus, are we pulling for Clem sucks to win the ACC after we win? South Carolina would have beat 2 Power 4 champs. I mean, that's interesting. I hadn't thought about it like that.
I think A&M winning out is a good one. I think Vanderbilt, if you could get Vanderbilt.
But here's the
to win
problem. I
out-
think this is what he's getting at. Is there any shot that South Carolina can jump Texas? Probably not, unless Texas loses to Kentucky too. Kentucky to A&M, and then you can jump them. That's the path.
Close Kentucky, and you know what's Kentucky's record right now? They're not. They got 5 wins, right?
4.
4. Oh, yeah. Never mind. No, I mean, I think it's just A&M. You got to have A&M just beat them and beat them bad. That's the only thing.
Yeah, no, because
Maybe Kentucky close.
Yeah, yeah. I'd be rooting for A&M. I can't. How could you root for Clemson though?
You can't. You can't. There's nothing. I'm sorry. Can't. I mean, I would love. Are we talking about South Carolina here? I think obviously you got to have Clemson. I don't know who Clemson plays this week, but you want Clemson to just destroy whoever it is, and then turn around. You know, maybe we're talking about a top 18, top 17 Clemson, and then you go in there and you just do it to them, man. 2-3 score win. I think then all of a sudden, I mean, you gotta acknowledge that. It's on the road, right? It's in Clemson.
It's at Clemson.
So,
and this
yeah.
week, oh man, you won't believe who Clemson's got this week, brother.
Who?
The Citadel.
Well, I didn't know that. It's a cool place, if you ever get to visit. But yeah,
Yeah. So,
Drew Deasy. I know Drew Deasy.
oh, and he's got one more. Appreciate you, Drew. He gave us $5. Which SEC team is currently playing the best? And we have kind of already answered the first part, but so who's playing the best right now? Do you think? I think it's Ole Miss.
Ole Miss. No, I think South Carolina right now. I think South Carolina's playing the best.
You son of a... You know, they played each other, Shane. You know what happened there?
I don't think it wasn't the same though. It was not the same. I think if they played right
Wasn't
now,
that long ago, was it?
yeah, it was long enough. 5 weeks ago.
Yeah.
6 weeks ago.
I mean, they smoked them at their house.
Yeah, but go to South Carolina's schedule. Think about that game. So that last game, that's when they turned it on, man. They
Yeah.
should have beat Bama. I think that's the one that got away from them. But Oklahoma not close, A&M not close, Vanderbilt not close. Mizzou is a really good, tough football game, but I think this is the best Mizzou's ever played. Right now, I think I'm not. We're splitting hairs here. I think Ole Miss is right there too, but Ole Miss. South Carolina.
Stubbs says, that's right, Shane. Come to the garnet and black side.
Yeah. Georgia. Hell, I mean, last week, I mean, what they did to the Tennessee Vols, you got to acknowledge that a little bit. So I think we've been acknowledging all week. I just got over it, I felt like, you know. And then I see some video about, face mask or something like, damn it. Or no, the punter. Did you see that one?
Uh-uh.
Oh, Mike. So they I don't even want to talk about it. It just hurt. I mean, everybody's laughing.
Might as well get it out. You might as well
They're
get it out.
laughing. They're having a good time, and then all Tennessee fans are like, you son of a bitch. So this guy, the punter, the Aussie punter comes in. Kirby set it up about how to tackle better.
Oh,
and then,
right.
of course, they show Boo Carter's punt return and where the punter got him. And they talk about form tackling and stuff. But he makes a little jab at Will Muschamp. I thought it was pretty funny. 5'7" coach with a visor or something like that. It's a pretty funny clip. I get that, but it's just I hate that it had to be this week. And
I told you at
against
the
Tennessee.
time, didn't I, Shane? I said that was a critical moment right there. That was a 4-point tackle.
Yeah, it was. That was, and no, I can't remember who number 6 is, but he knew it. I mean, he let the old Aussie off the hook, and that's just prime example, man. It's just not just this game, but if you mess up, you make a small mistake, and you think nobody's watching, it could change the landscape of the football. And I'm not saying that's the case, but if you do something this week with Texas, or you do something in Ole Miss, and maybe you're like, fuck, I'm not gonna watch any more tape. I'm gonna go out with the boys tonight. You know what I'm saying? It's like those small little things that you missed because you just thought you were gonna roll over these football teams. That may be the reason that you get the other team gets the upset. So again, small things, small details. So.
Right, like dancing with the other team after they whooped your ass. Don't do that. You know what?
Don't do that, man. Do not do that. Remember back in our day, Mike, not everybody had phones, you know what I'm saying? It's like you could get away with dancing with the other team in the 90s, but now everybody's got phones and cameras on you, so.
Yep. Hey, anything else before we hop off the line?
Nope.
Please don't go back to the good old days on us.
No. Well, I thought about giving you a story earlier, but I'll save it for another day. Mailbag question tomorrow. You got, of course, the smart guy's going to be on here first, our boy Steven. So be sure to check out the doubleheader. Check out the Twitter if you're a cousin. Get your questions in. We're going to answer those mailbag questions tomorrow. It's one of my favorite shows, Mike, because we get to answer all these things. So there's going to be a lot of playoff scenarios, I'm sure. But you got anything fun, exciting to talk about? It's a little bit more loose tomorrow.
And maybe the last one for a while, Shane, because the following week's Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and you ain't prying me from that table, Mike. You know what I'm saying?
All right, perfect place to end it. I appreciate you. I appreciate each and every one of you cousins for hanging out. We'll catch you on the next one.
I see you guys. Go Vols.